Welcome to No Such Thing as Normal podcast with Natalie Hayes and Jess McKeown.
This is a casual podcast where we talk about all the things you're not supposed to talk about in order to help you normalize your real life, because really we're all just a bunch of weirdos having a completely human experience in a society that asks us to pretend like we're not.
And I'm your host, Jess, a gifted spirit baby medium who facilitates deep soul healing by channeling divine messages.
And I'm your other host, Natalie, an intuitive mentor and transformative healer.
Be sure to subscribe where you listen to podcasts, watch our 100% unedited episodes on YouTube. And you can follow us on Instagram at McJaguar and at Intuitively Natalie for more weirdo and woo-woo content.
And if you like this episode, please be sure to rate and review and share on your social media pages so that A, of all, we can find you and follow you back. And B, of all, so other people can find us too in this weird new year, 2022.
Woo!
And this is season 2 of
the podcast. Season 2, 2022. Lots of 222 energy already for us. Two of us.
So much 2 energy this year.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's also the year of the lovers.
Lovers.
So 2 + 2 + 2, when you add up the year, it comes down to the number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And that in tarot cards is the lovers.
Yeah, a lot of birth energy. I know 6. Also, if you live in a 6 home, if all the numbers in your address add up to 6, which the last 2 houses we lived in have been 6 homes.
Ooh, what are you in now?
It's like, I'm in an 11 house now.
That's so rad.
Yeah. But the 6 energy is all about creation and creativity and like birthing new ideas. So I think that's a huge shift for this year.
Yeah. And I think with the lovers card too, like yes to relationships, yes to partnerships, but also yes to self-love.
Oh.
You know, I just did a big meditation. And the intention I set was to remove any blocks that are getting in the way of me loving myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do that.
Self-love is a huge theme this year. I felt it, which we're going to talk about the January transits, even though it's February, there's still going to be this big period of integration from that holy Venus retrograde. And then Mercury doesn't go direct until the 3rd. So we'll talk about that. But with that last full moon in Cancer, oh, it was so emotional. And ever since then, I've just been feeling like really intuitively called to like do more self-love work. Like this year, it's just about so much self-love.
Yeah. So, you know, the new year either starts with a Cancer or a Capricorn, right? And I think when we start with Capricorn, it's like, go, get to work, get shit done. When it starts with Cancer, it's like, wait, slow down, love, and
cry.
Cry. I've been doing a lot of stuff like around my house, right? Because like, hi, I've been in here for so long. And so I'm like, how can I make it cozier? How can I make these little altars? And how can I do these things and have things around me that I can easily bring in for self-love and comfort and, you know, all that good stuff. Did you cry? Did you cry a lot?
Oh my God, I cried so much. And I'm still crying. I think that's just a theme this year because Jupiter is in Pisces right now. And Pisces is my moon sign in my 4th house of home and stuff, which is traditionally ruled by Cancer. So like, it's just going to be a year of tears for me.
Are you like an ugly, sobby, snotty crier? Are you like a dab with tissues crier? What kind of crier are you?
I'm like I'll start to cry, but it's really rare that I like full on sob. I just get teary. I'm very tearful this year.
I cry like so much all the time. I sob. I do that. I haven't done a big sob in a while, but yeah, I get really emotional on things. And like, I will do meditations and be like, oh, my eyes are wet afterwards. So,
oh, I might have been crying.
I think it's, you know, I've been working a lot with my emotions and getting in touch with them. So I feel really supported by this energy. I feel supported in going deeper in my relationships. Like I really appreciate the friendships that I have. And I was like, how do I want to get to know these people more this year? How do I want to go deeper with them? How do I want to connect with them on ways that are really meaningful to me and know more about them? So that's a lot of the energy I'm feeling too with my relationships, both friends and family and my husband, just like getting to know people deeper. What's underneath that? tell me what, motivates you and drives you. So
I love that, because you can only, meet people as deep as you've met yourself. So the deeper you meet yourself, the more you're able to relate to people on those levels and meet them there. I'm just going to do a quick little plug because I have a new workshop coming out. It's on the 12th. We're recording this on the last day of January. So this workshop will be released this week to my email list. And there's a very small amount of spots because everybody that's attending is also going to be getting like a little reading from me. So I wanted to keep it small. I wanted to keep it intimate. So I don't know at the time that this recording is going to be released, that there's going to be extra spots, but it's called the Self-Love Workshop. It's like 60 to 90 minutes. We're going to be going deep into self-love and removing common blocks to loving yourself. We're going to like go through this meditation that reprograms your entire relationship to your body and yourself, because I was like having a conversation with my followers on Instagram recently about how much weight I've gained in the last 2-3 years.
Okay.
Like completely unintentionally. It's just, and it's really forced me into this new relationship with my body. Like I can either fight the weight gain, I can either like go back into old habits of like restricting, dieting, but then I had to look at like, that doesn't really feel good anymore because I've reframed those stories. Like the why for me to be skinny, like is not a why that I want anymore. Like changing the relationship I've had with my body with this weight gain. I just don't, there's so much like fat phobia, fat shaming. There's so much shame around weight gain, but honestly, through the pandemic, through everything that's happened that we've been through, I think everybody has gained weight just because energy, it resides in your body, emotions reside in your body. And we're just like holding on to things to cope.
Yeah. And well, this sounds like a much better way to like love and take care of yourself than like starting some crash fad diet that probably, if you've already started, you probably have already ended.
Yeah. At this point.
But like, I remember several years in a row, my New Year's resolution was like, lose weight. And I kind of opted out of January this year.
Yeah.
Like my New Year is actually kind of starting on February 1st. But yeah, it is. And it's just, I don't want to be like that to my body anymore. You know,
it doesn't feel good after you've done so much like self-work and like really diving into self-love. Like it does not feel good to shame yourself skinny anymore.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And you can't like shame yourself skinny. I love that. It's so true. You have to like love yourself. And then like, cause we've talked about this a lot in my own sessions with you, like it's like in the Mercury retrograde energy, like readjusting your awareness of yourself, I can't think of any more re's.
Readjust. Yeah, reing.
Like you're just reing, but like you're recalculating, but you're like reconfiguring. Now I like all
of these re's.
No, but you're like coming back to this like new sense of self, like the Mercury retrograde with Venus retrograde, like Venus is all about love and beauty and all that kind of stuff. Like, what are your beauty standards? How do you see yourself? Maybe you want to do something different this year with your hair, with how you look, with how you feel, with how you talk about yourself,
And with this year starting off with Venus retrograde, it's just like foreshadowing. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of re's this year, a lot of reevaluating what you value, what you love, beauty standards, like all of that. And really, at the end of the day, if your main goal is to lose weight, like, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I want to feel good in my body. Well, you can feel good in this body right now. It does not have to take like losing weight to get there.
Shocker. Mind blown.
Shocker. So if you want that sense of self-love to start to heal that relationship with your body and yourself, go to my website, sign up for my email list, or just send me an email if you can't find it anywhere.
It's only one day.
It is a one-time workshop. We're testing it out. I've never done like a workshop environment.
Okay.
I kind of actually wanted to call it an intensive because all of the like tools I'm throwing at you, all the healing that we're doing, like the actual healing that we're doing, I'm not like preparing you to heal. Like we're actually going to get in there and do the work. It feels like a lot of intense energy, but loving, not scary.
So come.
Yeah, come, please. It's virtual. It's on the 12th.
I love that.
So how was your winter break? We sped past catching up.
We were like, get into it. Okay. So I just realized that this is what I'm calling it. I took a witch's winter.
Oh, I love that.
Do you love that? I
Yeah.
was off from winter solstice until Imbolc, which is tomorrow when we're recording this, February 1st. I have never taken off this much time in my entire professional life. I've been working since I was like 10, you know. I was terrified at first, terrified. But what I have to say for people who have not taken off a big chunk of time is you have to take off a big chunk of time sometimes to like really feel the effects. Because if you're so tightly wound like I was, it just took a certain amount of time to unwind that I had never given myself. And once I gave myself so much time, I realized how much unwinding I had to do about so many things. So I had some fun, right? I did some celebration stuff, but then it snowed in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
In Seattle, no.
I mean,
See,
the whole city shuts down. It's still pretty.
Yeah. I mean, from like a warm, cozy home, yes.
Yeah.
But like we were already so like inside already that this just kind of like forced it in a little bit more. And then I got COVID. I got sick. So then I was like out for another good 2 weeks, right? Like a week of just being sick and then a week of sort of like letting my body come back online. And I learned so many gifts from having COVID. Like I never thought that getting sick would be a door opener for me, but in that time, it always is, right? In that time when I had to slow down, when I really couldn't do anything, like there was not enough brain power. I had to just, it was like a big purge of productivity for me, right? Like part of the thing that's hard for me is just sit still. I'm always thinking, always working, always doing. This really just forced it on me and allowed me the spaciousness. And I was really worried because I was supposed to be downloading stuff from Spirit. And then I wasn't really feeling well. And I had this retreat planned and that got canceled because I wasn't feeling well. And so I started getting nervous and my guides are just like, you just need to trust, you just need to trust that like when it comes, it will come. And so I'm just like, I always think whenever I'm going to get like downloads that I have to like light candles and burn incense and be like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. Set the mood.
And yeah. And it'll just be like, I'll be like doing something and Spirit will be like, knock, knock, knock. Here's your download. And it just like flows. And so that also helped me really understand like what a download feels like for me from Spirit, the knock on the door, the like, can't stop, won't stop. I think I texted you and I was like, I need a mop because there's like
so much coming in.
And, I sat with, speaking of crying, I sat with this energy of what they were showing me was these new ways of working with people. And I sat in the gratitude and love of my clients for creating these with Spirit. And it was like overwhelming. Like I was crying and sobbing and just so grateful that I get to be a part of people's journey to bring in babies. So it was a good adjustment, but it was a lot of downtime. And then right as I got better, my husband got sick. So we've just been like quarantined and, isolated. And that was really hard too, being isolated. Even though he and I are in the same place, he FaceTimed me one time from his office and, we did a couple of things like that just to like stay connected. But it made me realize too, just how important connection is for me and how do I want to connect with people. So it was a good slowing down. I'm feeling better now. And I'm like ready to go, but I'm not going to like hit the ground running either, like super fast. Like I'm going to take my time this year. I'm going to be slow and intentional this year.
It's big of you to say as an Aries.
I mean, like slow for an Aries. Maybe that's better.
That's way better.
Not like Taurus slow.
It's slow. Yeah. Capricorn
like,
slow is slower.
Or Capricorn slow. Yeah. Not those. I love my goat friends. I love my hoofed friends in the pod. But I mean, I still need to get to the mountaintop first.
Obviously. That's an Aries.
I just might like enjoy the view a bit more as I'm going and maybe like slow down so I don't like break a leg,
Right.
Yeah.
Proceeding with caution.
I'm trying to think of what else. I think the other cool thing that is happening in a couple of days is that I'm marrying 2 clients.
Oh yeah, you're officiating.
So I am officiating a wedding. DM me if you want me to marry you. I've already had a couple clients say like, I would love for you to marry me.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, all right.
Love that.
Hello. yeah. And so I did some research into like love and unions and marriage, and they're getting married on 2-2-2-2. So just like super amazing energy there. And it's just a full circle because this again was a nudge from spirit to introduce these two clients together. And I disregarded it because I was like, I am not playing matchmaker. And then it just was like insistent. And so like, here we are. So I'm
That's
kind of
beautiful.
nervous. She's like, my client was like, you've married people before, right? I was like, no.
No, literally never.
What makes you think that? But anyway, so I've been like prepping for a wedding, my first wedding ever. What
That's
a
so
wild, it's
fun.
wild.
That
Yeah.
is wild.
And I mean, I get to start my year with like love, literally.
Oh, what a year. It's the year of the lovers.
And they're getting married on Lake Union in a boat.
Gorgeous.
How
Oh,
cute is that? Lake
really
Union,
cute.
Union. I mean,
Ah,
the symbolism.
oh, it's too much.
Yeah. Well, what were you up to?
What did I do? It feels like I feel like I have amnesia. It's a blur. We celebrated the holidays
Yeah.
with my family. My in-laws got a cabin in the mountains. So we went to the cabin for Christmas, and that was so fun. We got like essentially snowed in. There was so much snow, which is beautiful. I love the snow. It's actually going to snow the next 2 days, which I'm really excited about. Got to get my errands done today so I can hibernate. And then I've actually been opening up on my social media, which I haven't been doing, about our like conception journey.
Yeah.
Because I said we were going to start it again at the end of the year, and we did, and we're still on the journey. Jen and I we set out on this journey, right? Like on a whim, like, oh, let's kids sound romantic. Let's do it. And then immediately got pregnant, immediately miscarried. And it's just taken so much longer than I ever anticipated. And I'm, a Gemini. So like things taking a long time it's not for me. just gonna say it's not for me. So it's been emotional. It's been an emotional roller coaster the past couple months. Probably why I blacked it out.
Well, at least you have some good awareness of that.
Lots of awareness. It's a tearful year.
Yeah, but I mean, like bringing in a baby, and that's a deepening of the relationship for sure, and it's, I think especially when they don't just come right away, and you have to wait even a couple of months or a year or whatever. I mean, I remember telling clients like, well, try in like 3 or 4 months. And they were like, 3 or 4 months.
What?
And I'm just like, that's not that long.
It's really not that long.
It's really not that long. But when you've been trying for years, 7 years, 8 years, right? The 3-4 months is just like so much. So
but
what are you going to do to like support yourself through that journey?
Well, the Cancer full moon was a huge deal because I guess like having a nursing background and like just this understanding of the conception process that like I'm doing all of the right things at the right time.
Yeah.
All of the right things at the right time. And it's not happening. So like dealing with that disappointment, but also trusting that like I am doing everything right, that there are other energies at play here. There's a better timeline for the kid to come through. It's not like I'm doing anything wrong, but it's still so frustrating as someone who things come really easily to. They always come really easily to me. I'm an achiever. If I want it, I achieve it. And so this not happening when I set the intention for it to happen has been a real big mind fuck. It hasn't been fun. And it's been a lot of tears, a lot of shedding of expectations.
Yeah.
We said, oh, I don't want to spend thousands of dollars on conceiving. That's why I don't want to do IVF personally, because like it's just so expensive and there's other things I could spend that money on. And then like we were calculating how much we've spent so far. And it's a number I never would have imagined spending to try to get.
It's crazy. I think one of the things that I want to do eventually is like develop a scholarship fund for people who are trying to conceive, because it's fucking expensive.
It's
and
expensive.
Whether you're buying sperm or buying eggs or buying treatments or IUIs or whatever it is, or even like you're buying acupuncture or other treatments to support you, right? Or yoga classes or all the things, it's a lot. And I think there's a couple other organizations that I know about that do that. And I was so inspired by that I was like, I want to do that for the spirit baby. So
That's really sweet. I mean, I
Yeah.
know there's not a lot of, that I know of, a ton of support for like LGBTQ couples trying to conceive. And I know like at least like I can think of the good things, right? Your mind's like, well,
Yeah.
at least you can get pregnant. You got pregnant once. At least you don't
Yeah.
have to pay for a surrogate, like
Yeah.
these things come in my mind like, oh, at least, but there's still struggles that are unique to same-sex couples that I'm so bitter of it at straight people. Like we went to a baby shower over the weekend and like Jen and I were just sitting on the couch, like so happy, of course,
Yeah.
the love that this person has, that they're pregnant and it's beautiful. They're bringing a baby in the world. And we're just sitting there, slamming Prosecco because we're bitter.
Because you're like, where's ours?
Right. You've got a sperm machine at home. I have to go buy a 45-pound tank and spend $500,000 on it every time I want to try. So it's just reconciling with my bitterness for straight people and the disappointment that it's not happening, even though I'm doing all the right things.
Yes. And I think the parts that you shared about your journey with me are so beautiful. Like the fact that you sit with the sperm and meditate with it. And
we pep talk that sperm.
Pep talk, the swimmers, as we call them, the swim team. But like, I mean, I don't do that with Dan. Do you know what I mean? I mean, maybe I could, that might be a little bit awkward, but I'd be like, hold on, honey, just need to talk to these guys.
A conversation.
But like, I think everybody's journey to bring in a baby is different and unique. And while that person might be able to, get pregnant pretty quickly and bring in a baby, like they might have other challenges that you could hop over, easily.
I know you're listening to this recording, but I just threw my slipper at my dog. They won't stop barking. I have to get them. Give me a second. I have to get them down because they're
sure.
menaces.
I can't even hear them.
Well, they're menaces to me. I'm irritable today.
Oh, too funny.
Okay, crisis averted. Sorry, what were you saying? We were pep talking the sperm.
Yeah, no, but it just, everybody's journey is different, right? Everybody's, it's unique. You're like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine. But I think that's the part of it is like one of the biggest lessons that I've been like working with spirituality that's just come to the center is comparison. Oof. And it's just like, every time I got to like, no, like in my meditations, I'll like an image will come up. They're like, no, no, but it's true. It's like, we are so uniquely individual. Well, we might share a lot of commonalities and energies and that kind of stuff. Each of us is so unique. We don't know what happened in your past lives. We don't know what's going on in Jenna's past lives. We don't know what goes on in your baby's past lives and experiences. And so it's this like relinquishing of control. It's this releasing, and like, you've probably had to always been the achiever, right? Your whole life. So like, how can you like love this side of whatever you want to call this?
Not achieving, being a loser.
Your words, not mine.
Okay.
But like what? Yeah, like what is the opposite of not achieving? Losing. Right? that's pretty like black, white.
I get it. It's bleak.
It's pretty bleak. Yeah, because when we have such bleak or such harsh out views, if we don't get pregnant, we automatically go into the loser category. And if we go there like months and months or years and years, it takes such a toll on people's like souls, personalities, like it's, people don't laugh or smile anymore as much. So a lot of what I want to do is just help people be okay with that, understand that, tap into their story. I kind of go in ways with that too, with mine.
Yeah.
And I think when other people are pregnant or having babies, it does sting a little bit. And it does remind you of the loser side.
The thing you're not good at. Yeah.
The thing you suck at. Yeah.
It's also really interesting having done all of this, internal work and reprogramming and all of the stuff that I've done and like healing through the miscarriage and processing that trauma, quote unquote, appropriately. So I'm not stuck in fight or flight about it. It's like, I also have this higher awareness of why things aren't working out, but it doesn't negate like feeling those emotions, like that defeat. It's like, I still feel really defeated, but also like, I get it. It's not the right time. Like I get it, but I'm also, so like, it's a little bit I'm not going to say tougher. It's just more interesting being able to sit in a space that holds room for both, like an understanding of a different timeline maybe being created that'll serve us better, while also feeling so defeated that we spent this money and this effort and all of this time and energy to trying to get pregnant, and then you get your period.
Well, yeah. And what you're inspiring me as I hear you talking is like, we think that like, if we do all the work and everything, like when the shit comes, we're going to be like, okay with it.
But you won't feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Let's still feel it, but then you'll be even angrier because you understand also.
Yeah. And you're like, why do I feel this way? And I think it's just, emotions, right? We're allowed to have these emotions and they make up who we are. And it's the energy that we're feeling. And I think we judge ourselves way too harshly, with it, how we're feeling. And especially maybe as women too, we get told that our emotions aren't supposed to be out, especially in like workplaces and all that stuff. So
crazy.
Yeah. So, there's so much like internal battles probably going on in people. But it is harder when, you do all the things and you're like, where's my cookie? And Spirit's like,
holding a cookie jar.
Where's my cookie? Spirit.
Well, my guides just said coming in, they're like, the goal of going down a spiritual path is not to not be human.
Yeah.
That's not the goal. You're not going to ascend being human. You're still going to be in the shit and understand why it's happening while still feeling it. And I think that the feeling the duality has been the most like irritating part of it. Get it? But still angry doesn't make it better.
Yeah. I think it's because it's like the body mind disconnect, right? Like if we were to like integrate those thoughts into more of like a one space in the body, we'd probably like, it like diffuses or like cancels each other out when it neutralizes it. Yeah. So there's this like meditation technique where you feel something like unpleasant in your body, right? Maybe your neck is hurting, your back, whatever it is. And then you kind of like really sit with that, feeling emotion, whatever it is. And then you invite in the opposite. So if you're feeling hatred or whatever, you invite in love or, and there's lots of opposites, right? So don't get too caught up on that. And then what happens is just like in like sound baths or sound waves, and energy is also in waves, like the stronger, bigger, more powerful wave, love versus fear, will just kind of like I'm doing a cool hand thing on YouTube. We'll just kind of come over and just, and it'll actually not only neutralize it, but make it into like a little bit of love. I made a heart. So like, it's a really cool experience. So if you're ever feeling something in your body or whatever, allow yourself to feel it because it's there, it's true, but then invite in your friend, the other emotion, the more pleasant feeling, and see what it does. I did this in my yoga training and I was like, what the fuck, that worked. When shit works, I'm like, oh, it's Lord. I'm like, what? It's magic.
This is magic. What is this witchcraft?
What is this witchcraft?
Oh,
I've been calling myself a witch more too.
So have I.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like really empowered by it.
I do too.
Calling myself a witch.
I'm a hedge witch.
What does that mean? Tell me what.
That's like the medium witch.
Oh.
There's like, there's like the kitchen witch.
What am I?
There's
I'm a mental witch. I'm a mind witch.
Yeah, there's there's all different kinds of witches. There's more than just these, but like the earth witch who's like with the plants, the kitchen witch, also a little bit more with the cooking and the mixing, that kind of stuff. The hedge witch, the hedge witch, which is me I would say you're probably like a hedge witch too. There's a celestial witch, which uses like a lot of astrology and kind of sees things through the planets. But then, there's a couple other ones she listed, but then there's also like an eclectic witch, which I also associate, which is pulling from tarot, pulling from mediumship, pulling from astrology. You're just like an eclectic mix of things. And I was like, yeah, that feels good. And it's just a way of orienting yourself or your magic or your practices. And then she talked about this woman is called the Green Witch on YouTube, obsessed. And she was talking about how, there's different kinds of witches, and you can be a solitary witch and practice by yourself, or you can like be in a coven. And I immediately went like, I want to be in a coven. And I immediately felt this like deep desire to like practice magic with people. And so I feel like there's this deepening of myself and then this deepening of relationships so that I can call in people that want to do witchy stuff with me.
I love that. We should create our own coven. because I
Let's
kind of
do
want to be
it.
in charge. I like covens sound great, but I also don't like
I
being told
want
what
to
to
be
do.
in charge.
I don't like being told what to do.
I think our coven would be very like communal, you know?
Okay. What do they call it? An oligarchy? Everybody is ruled.
A chaos. That's
Yeah,
what
a chaos. We'll have a chaos coven.
you don't like to be told what to do. You're
I
hilarious.
don't like it.
Who does?
I
guess
feel like
some
people do.
Yeah, that's true.
Not I.
No.
Let's chat a little bit about, since this is coming out on the 7th, we'll be in the thick of it. The 2/2 to 2/22 portal.
Yes.
What a mouthful.
It's a lot of twos. So when we get a 2/2/2/2 and then a 2/2/2/2/2, that was fun to say. That's a lot of twos.
Oh shit.
So when shit like that shows up, you gotta like pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Numerology, the power and the energy of so many of the same repeating symbol. Think of it that way too. Numbers are just symbols. They're just, lines and squiggles, but it's like, whoa, there's a lot of these repeating. And, what my guys are kind of just showing, because we just said, let's channel this. They're kind of saying like, let it be a love manifestation portal.
Oh, the two, the energy of the two, the duality, the masculine, the feminine, the relationshipy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what parts do you want to balance? What parts do you want to look at? What relationship do you want to focus on? Like they're saying to me, like pick a relationship or pick a part of yourself that you want to learn how to love, or pick one friend to really go deep with. And they're just kind of showing like this idea of like set some really beautiful intentions. They're bringing me honey for sweetness. Oh, and they want people to do where you put, what are they showing me? You put like stuff in honey and it like preserves it or something. There's some kind of like thing that they're showing me. It's like,
they want us to mummify.
Essentially like you can kind of like, they're saying like, it's like a love potion or a sweetness potion, but they're showing that, using honey as the container or the base for what you're making. So it feels like they're saying like, make some infused honeys.
Okay.
So something like sweet, maybe you want to make something like with sugar, like a sugar scrub, or just something like sweet they're showing me, but just this like infusion of like love and sweetness, and a tenderness and an alchemy and a making of something that they're just kind of like, they're just in a kitchen like making stuff now, maybe because we just talked about witchy stuff, but they're just like, we need you guys to make stuff and create stuff and be ready for spring, they're saying.
Yeah, well, we briefly mentioned that Imbolc is tomorrow, the 1st,
which is like midwinter, halfway between winter solstice and spring solstice.
Yeah, pagan holiday, Irish Celtic holiday, Druid kind of energy with Brigid, the goddess. She's the goddess of Imbolc. Yeah, so new beginnings, fertile. Like, yes, there's still snow on the ground, but spring is coming.
Yeah, those little snowdrops, snow, and the little like crocuses. Sometimes you're just like, oh, yay,
spring is here. So this is a really fertile time. Good time for planting seeds, setting intentions, especially after the retrogrades of January have come to a close.
Yeah,
full of momentum.
And there's just a lot of this, like they're kind of like feeding me this little honey every day. Like you're taking a little bit of sweetness, whatever you make on the 2/2 portal, to like kind of like ingest or work with over this time. How long is that? 20 days?
Yeah.
Almost 3 weeks. So they're kind of saying like, maybe they're just channeling today. Maybe it's a new exercise routine that you want to do. Maybe it's a new yoga thing. Maybe it's a new class that you want to take. Like these are like that self-love pieces, but it's like, what do you want to start? What do you want to dedicate yourself to? What do you want to be like? That's the feeling of like devotion they're showing me. Like, what do you want to devote yourself to? Because it's all love. Whatever we do is love, they're saying to me. Like we have an understanding of like, this is love, but everything we do is love. So you can really bring anything in that you want to start or do. But let it be around, yourself, your relationships. It's kind of like you can do anything, but if you do it around partnerships, relationships, self-love, it's going to be more potent.
Yeah, that feels good. And
yeah,
you can think this is bullshit also. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. It's just if you want to. A lot of favorable energy during this numerological portal that we have going on this year. And February is like a really big year astrologically for this year. We briefly, I think, touched on it in the last episode of season 1, about the US going through its Pluto return in February, which is
Yes.
happening during this portal, if not immediately after. I can't remember what day it actually hits it, but woof, holy social revolution, a little bit of upheaval. So like really grounding into that vibration of love this month is going
Mhm.
to help carry you through it. It's not going to be like, ah, so much fire and chaos.
Ooh, and they're kind of my guys just said, how can you love the ones you hate? Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Ugh,
So like I get it. Those people are crazy. I do not agree with those people. Those people, right, in
those
quotes.
people.
But we are all the same energy, loves.
Mm-hmm.
That is a part of our energy. That is a part of us. So as much we can like disagree, we can make laws and rules and regulations, to better support what we want in a society, but we can't hate people is what they're saying to me. So if you have sort of a hatred towards people that are different or thinking different, they just kind of say to me, like, really check yourself on that,
What was an
and
aspect of yourself that you also hate?
yeah. Or like they're saying, like, do you also wish that you could speak out as loudly and brashly as they are, but with your platform?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of saying like, what is the fear? What is the worry there? Yeah, that's interesting.
I feel like it's going to be maybe more polarized, if that's possible. Um, the beginning of this year, just like the deeper the divide, the more polarization between beliefs and ideas. And the only way to combat that is to see how connected we all are, to see how the same we
Mm,
all are, and to like
yes.
really make it intentional to connect to that vibration of love instead of connecting to that vibration that separates you.
Yeah. I mean, hand on heart is one of the easiest ways for me, right, to
Mm-hmm.
check in. Um, we forget so much that we have this physical body that can help us with this. So just, yeah, love, and how can we be loving, right? Is that a loving thing to do? My guides are also kind of saying like, some of you might have like a fucked up version of love, right?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
grew up with they say distorted version of what love is. So they say for you to find out what is a true version of love, right?
Feel
That,
into it. Yeah.
yeah, like just because you didn't get it or weren't raised with it doesn't mean that you still can't obtain it
Right.
or have access to it or find your connection to it. They're saying spirit would never leave you without this ability to connect back to love.
Yeah, you definitely have the capability, even if you've never seen it before. Because it's more about a receiving than a
Yeah.
creating anyway. So you're not creating it, you're just going to tap in and receive it.
Very true. And they're saying if it's hard for you to receive, like then the work that you do is to work on receiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if there's layers in front of the truth, then work on removing the layers. And I had to I was like, oh my God, I have so many layers. Look at me.
Look
Ah,
at me.
oh my God, I'm so traumatized. No, but I was just like, all right, like little by little, pace by pace, I'm going to remove these because I got to this point where I was just like, I don't want to feel this way anymore.
It
I
doesn't
want
feel
to be
good
happy. I
anymore.
want to feel
Mhm.
peaceful, right? I want to feel good. I don't want to be jacked by my emotions anymore. So
Mhm. I get it. I get
my
it.
emotions are like, let's go.
Yeah, they're intense.
I'm like, no,
Guys,
guys.
softer, please. Well, I love that we're going into a portal of love for Valentine's
Yeah.
Day. So
Ooh.
I
Do
know
you like
everybody's like,
Valentine's Day?
well, I mean, Jen and I a long time ago decided we don't do gifts for anything anymore, but like I just like I love pink and I love candy. So like yeah, I like Valentine's Day.
No gifts ever.
We don't give each other gifts,
You buy yourself gifts.
obviously.
Does she buy herself gifts?
If she feels like it, she's not a big like
Gift hoarder.
purchaser. Yeah, it's me.
She's like, I'm fine.
I do it.
I used to work at American Greetings. So Valentine's Day was the end of our fiscal year. Like the end of February was our end of our fiscal year because we
Big
wanted to get
bang.
that Valentine's
Big.
Day, like money. And we always did better if Valentine's Day was during the week because then
Really?
because people would be like, oh, just like buy a card. It's on a Wednesday, whatever. If it was
Oh.
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then people would like go out to dinner. They might not buy a card per se, like if you're going
Mm-hmm.
out to a fancy dinner or whatever, but like if it's on a Tuesday, then you might like buy a card and chocolates or whatever. So I always thought that was like so interesting, like the behavioral patterns of people.
That's so interesting.
I like Valentine's Day. I like all those holidays.
I like holidays.
I've done Galentine's Day too, and it's just like all girls, and you're just like, yay, like we're single and we don't have anybody, and we're just gonna go celebrate. But I always see those as like inspiration for like what I want to do to celebrate. I never feel pressure. Like if, people feel pressure on the holidays to do stuff or whatever.
Check your expectations. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're expecting.
I mean, if you're single, it can feel shitty, it can be like, but there's so many other ways. Like maybe you start to like do something nice for yourself that day,
Right. Give yourself Valentine's gift. Who says you can't?
Maybe like Valentine's arrow right here
it's
on
for
me. I want to fall in love with myself.
This is my day.
But I mean,
yeah,
like fall in love with yourself.
Yeah, because that's where it starts.
It does. If you want somebody to fall in love with you, love yourself. Be like, I am so amazing.
Exactly.
I love myself.
Let me really feel into that. So my next relationship is not a trauma bond.
That too. Let's talk about that. What is a trauma bond in a relationship?
When you bond over mutual trauma.
Like you're both abandoned or both.
So you'll attract somebody with abandonment issues if you have abandonment issues, or if, there's so much emphasis, I feel like on TikTok lately about like your attachment style.
Oh yeah.
So you'll pick somebody with a complementary or the same kind of attachment style as you, because that's your trauma and they're going to reflect it back to you.
I read those and I'm like, nobody has that healthy attachment style. Everybody's like they're like, oh, then there's like the healthy one. I'm like, who has that?
Who has that? That is a unicorn.
Let me see how that works. What's that feel like? Like I'm so not attached to anything.
There's so much identification with trauma and attachment styles. People want to name everything. Now everybody has ADHD also, according to TikTok.
Yeah. I think there's that's interesting too, because I think by people starting to claim it, it's softening the okayness about it, right? That's the normalizing of it. Like whether they have ADHD or not, it's that openness of saying, maybe I do have that, or I think I do.
Different. There's nothing wrong with me. It's this. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think there's lots wrong with me.
Yes.
I think I've realized that there might be more things going on that I just don't know about,
I think I've just realized that nobody is normal.
Yeah.
I just made like, why do I have to slap a diagnosis on it? Like there's no such thing as normal. Hello, it's the podcast.
I know. So Jonathan Van Ness, love him. Shout out, Jonathan. He has this new show on Netflix, and I watched this one that he did about, can we say bye-bye to the binary?
Yeah.
Which I love. And so what that kind of made me think about was like, what is after? Like once we say bye-bye to the binary, do we still have she and they and he? Do we just remove those pronouns? Do we just like stop labeling ourselves, right? Because so much of the labels come from places that aren't serving. And so I don't know, I just feel like there might be a purging of labels as well after we like associate with them, right?
Ooh, labels tying you down.
I don't know, I think we need new language, right? And I think Geminis come up with some language for us about how do we talk about this stuff, how do we evolve into stuff.
Bless us. If we can focus long enough, we'll give you a solution.
Also, see, I'm into this. I also watched this thing with Lindy West, there's a TV show about her life called Shrill. She's here in Seattle. She's in a throuple.
Love that.
So like even that, like I watched this whole little like, documentary about it, or this little like mini video about it, documentary. Yeah.
What?
But I was like, even that, like, there's people are creating and forming relationships and partnerships in much, much different ways. So I'm just excited for like where this is all going to go. That's, I think my feeling around that is like, don't feel like you have to do what's already been done. Feel free to like explore what partnership relationship stuff means to you this year.
Yeah, it can look totally different. There is no such thing as normal. Just a reminder, to everybody out there, it's the basis of the podcast. You can do whatever you want to do. There are no rules. The rules are made up.
And normal can really be code for like white supremacy, right? Like
white,
as
cis,
I want
hetero.
exactly like the way, right? This is the normal way. This is what's normal. Because again, watching this little documentary, they were kind of saying that like they wanted to make the white race like the best race, right? And so all these all this categorization and everything and the separation, everything kind of came from that and these labels and everything. So it's just fascinating to me to be like alive in this time right now and to see this stuff changing. Like for a while I was terrified and I was like, why did I sign up for this? But now I'm like, I mean, I was here when like, you know, cell phones were invented, and I was here when like we started really using the internet, you know, like I have experience with old technologies and new technologies. And I'm excited to see like where else this world is going to go.
I saw a meme today that said like this, it's the same difference between today and 1980 as it was from 1980 to 1938.
Trippy. So trippy.
Oh, why did we have to point that out?
Well, and also like people are like loving the 90s, and that's very hard for me because like I lived through the 90s.
I know.
And to see my life like reflected back to me in the products and shit and the fashion. One, I think the kids are doing it like way cuter. Go. I love it. But it's just weird to be like, already like, already we're here. But when I was a kid, I was obsessed with like the 60s and the 50s and the 70s and just all that good stuff. So
yeah, I was just obsessed with not wearing jeans. It was kind of a nightmare. Couldn't wear jeans. Too restrictive. Can't listen to authority. I can't wear jeans. Too restrictive.
Do you have any jeans in your house right now?
I love jeans. Like I only wear jeans now, but like as a kid, absolutely refused. There's like a 6 or 7 year period. Would not wear them. Too restrictive.
What did you wear inside? Like corduroys?
Like leggings? Or like skirts? I don't know. Halloween costumes also a favorite.
I love that. I kind of like if my kid goes to a school, I would like totally let them wear their Halloween costume. But the school would probably like not let them, huh?
Why would they not let them?
I don't know, because they're not cool.
Oh, bless them. School system needs to crumble.
They'd be like, Mrs. McKeown, your daughter is dressed as a unicorn again, and she's throwing glitter around the cafeteria. Please pick her up.
I fail to see an issue with that. Yeah. And again, your complaint is?
I'll be like, it's biodegradable glitter. She's spreading joy and happiness.
She is living her authentic life.
She is a unicorn today.
Don't shame her.
Oh, I love it.
Really fun. Okay, so we talked about the portal.
Yes.
Caught up a little bit about our
lives,
witch's winter. My
fascinating lives.
Talked about Venus, Mercury retrograde ending, and this beautiful portal of devotion that's coming through. So I think that's all I got for today. Is there anything you want to add before we?
We talked a little bit about like integrating all of this, right? And so I think like when you're doing the portal work, right, and you're kind of in an open state, an expansive state, a kind of a working state, if you will. And then when that ends, you know, taking the time to like integrate. And what my guys are showing me is like, you know, that could be journaling, that could be talking with a friend or a counselor, that could be, you know, processing it in some way. So making sure that you also have several, they're saying like ways to process this information. You could body movement processing, somatic movement, but just like when we do big expansive work, if we don't integrate it, it's kind of like
it stays in the conceptual. You don't ever like bring it down in the physical. Yeah,
exactly. It's like you can access it again, but it doesn't really move the needle or move forward anymore. So remember when you do any kind of expansive work or big work to have a period of integration afterwards. It's, you know, reflection. You can just sit there and think about it. You can notice how you feel after devoting yourself to something for, you know, 3 weeks. Isn't that what they say? Like it takes to like make a habit, you know, 3 weeks or whatever. Days. There you go. So, you know, by the 21st day, you'll be on your new habit.
Exactly.
But they're just kind of saying like, it's important and they want you to integrate it in the heart. So like, a lot of you guys, they say integrate in the head, which is like a judgment or it could have been, or that didn't work, or I didn't do it as many times as I wanted to. But really the heart is celebrating what you did do, how you did connect, like focusing on the good. yeah, they just kind of keep saying like, stop focusing on what you didn't do and more putting the energy on what you have been doing, what you can do, what you are doing.
Yeah. Grounding it into the physical. It's a good port. It's a
Yeah,
good portal for that.
it is.
Starts on Wednesday.
Yeah. What are you going to do? What are you going to commit to?
I'm not really sure yet. I feel like
said the cranky podcast host.
I feel like I've got time. I told you before we hopped on this call, I was like, this Aquarius new moon's got me feeling irritable. So maybe today's not the day to make that decision.
Aquarius is my moon sign. So I'm
you
like,
feel fucking great today.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, the weird is here. We are here and we're weird. That's what I feel like. Aquarius energy is always just like, do what you want to do. If people want to come and join you, great, but like, you're not going to get distracted from what you want to do. So
right.
This needs to be something that really you want to do, that feels really good for you. So,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna I took this really cool class on, marking your time off, or like kind of thinking about your time off and like this high quality time off versus low quality time off. And one of the areas was connection. And so I put that I want to start doing date nights again.
Yeah.
Because pandemic dating has been kind of like, wah, wah.
Mhm.
And so but it's also like kind of asking me to get more creative about dates, because I can't go to the normal go-tos of dinner, this, whatever. So I'm trying to think of some fun and creative ways to like connect with my partner more deeply. So that's my intention.
That's beautiful. I love that.
At least one of us had something beautiful.
At least one of us. I think I'm going to be doing some self-love.
There we go.
What it's going to be. But that decision doesn't need to be made today. Today we're irritable.
Today we're irritable. Well, and I was just telling Natalie before, like I was irritable the other day. And when I go out into the world and I'm irritable, like, I'm sorry, world.
Well, you just attract things that are going to like amplify that irritation to you, because that's the frequency that you're in.
Yeah. Like slow drivers who turn in front of you too slow, get a horn.
Bless them.
Yeah. So I do apologize to those people afterwards in the car. I'm like, I'm sorry. I call back the energy. May you have peace. But yeah, it's like not good to go out into the world. I will sometimes like literally shake, that's what they say.
Helps.
Animals like shake to like, they're like, oh, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I will do that sometimes just to like shake off energy.
It helps. It really helps.
Yeah.
I'm going to try neutralizing it. We'll see how it goes. But also it's okay that I'm irritable. I allow myself to feel valid and irritable.
Yes. I love that.
Okay. Next time we're going to talk about, there's going to be a full moon in Leo, and we're going to talk about this Chinese New Year, the year of the tiger. Yes. It's a water tiger, whatever that means. We're going to channel around it. And with that, I hope you have a great portal. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about, hit us up on Instagram, send us an email, send us a DM. And if you want to join my self-love workshop, let me know.
Yes. And I would say to my schedule is going to be open by the time this comes out. I know it's been closed and people have been like clawing at my door. So yay, I love you. And I feel so loved, and it'll be open for sessions. So
I love that. Book with Jess. Amp up your self-love.
Yeah.
Make it a great year. 2022, year of the tears. See you next week. Bye.